Well, guys, Venom Let There Be Carnage is officially out, and it's of course rolling out worldwide rather soon, so most people will be able to see it. One thing that's been discussed ever since the first screening was made available to people was of course the post-credit scene, which I'm going to talk about here, explain what's going on, and give you guys my general thoughts. As always, there's quite obviously a spoiler warning, but I think everybody pretty much knows what the scene is from one thing or another, or one way or another. So I'm going to do my best to explain what's going on, and what we see in the post-credit scene is Eddie Brock and the symbiote, Venom, and everything we know changes suddenly. And the best way I can explain this change is we see that Eddie is in his room, and suddenly there's like this violent shaking that's happening. I don't know how to describe it. Imagine like an earthquake that's going on. Now imagine if everything around you suddenly got hit with like what looks like a sound wave rapidly ripping through you. I don't know how to explain it really. It's a very confusing visual, and what's going on is even more confusing because out of nowhere, it just kind of happens. Like this jerky, shaky effect that hits the screen and everything else. And you get the sense that something is off. And after a few seconds, things start to make sense as we see that the TV is on, and what's on the TV has suddenly shifted to something completely different that's never been mentioned before, as we see that the Daily Bugle is running a breaking story where we see Tom Holland's Spider-Man from the MCU moments after what happens at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, and he is standing there as his identity is being outed. We look at the Venom symbiote. He, has full shape now, and he gets closer to the TV. The tongue sticks out, starts licking the TV, and cut. So, Venom is officially in the MCU. Now, this, I assume, is the cause and effect of the whole multiverse thing. Now, how does it work? I have no clue. Because the breaking news report is quite clearly meant to be the end of the last film and going into No Way Home. Now, the spell that Doctor Strange casts doesn't happen for a while, from what we understand, unless Venom has been teleported into the universe, into the MCU, and they're just running like a report. Hey, remember 6 months ago when this kid was on the run? Remember that? They always do that. They always go back to, the first day and call back and catch people up that might just tune in now. It happens in our world in the news at the same time. Like right now, you can go and be like, oh, I wonder what's on the news. They'll be like, remember 2 years ago, the bat? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. It's right. Like they try to catch you up with it. That's kind of how I'm seeing this. But I guess the point of the post-credit scene is to tell you, hey, Venom is now in the MCU, and Papa Feige is going to be doing it, and, well, that's true, because that's exactly what happened. So, I'm really interested to see what happens next, because this is going to be a really interesting time for everything happening with Marvel, because now we don't have the outside Sony world, we have the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that's it. And there's a lot that can be done here, and this is bold. This is definitely huge. I can't wait to see what happens next and what they say about this, because this just changed everything. How and when and how far and how big of an effect is Venom going to have on everything? Is he going to suddenly appear in something that we don't expect him in? And we're like, oh, look, it's Venom and Moon Knight? Okay, that could happen now. What a wild time to be a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan.
Therefore, we must all bless Kevin Feige. Yes.